In this video, we are going to go over what slope-intercept form is and how to solve for the y-intercept. Welcome back to my channel, Numerics with Nadia, and let's dive into today's lesson objectives. So our first lesson objective is to understand slope-intercept form of a linear equation. Then we will go through and define what the y-intercept is. Then, last but not least, we'll always end off with some practice questions. We'll learn how to solve for the y-intercept given a slope and a point, and also just given 2 points. If you guys haven't watched my last video going over what slope is and how to find the slope using 2 points or the beginner's guide to slope, I will go through here and tag both of them here for you guys just so you can catch up. Before getting into today's lesson, we're going to start off with our first learning objective where we're going to introduce what slope-intercept form is. So to start off, let's go through and define slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form is a way to express a linear equation using the following formula. So the formula is y equals mx plus b. This is slope-intercept form of a linear equation. Now, what do each one of these terms represent? Let's go through and define them. So y equals mx plus b, where y is our dependent variable, it's our output, and it is our y coordinate. Then m represents our slope, our rate of change. Then we have x, which is our independent variable. It can also be referred to as your input or your x coordinate. And then we have our b term, which is our y-intercept. And what a y-intercept means is where the line crosses the y-axis. So I would highly encourage you guys to write this down in your notebooks. Please comment a pencil emoji if you have done this before we get into the next part of our lesson. Now that we have gone through our first lesson objective, let's get into our second one, and let's go over what is the y-intercept. The definition of the y-intercept is that it is the point where a line crosses the y-axis, and this occurs when x equals 0. So in a lot of real-world scenarios, the y-intercept represents the starting value. And I will also show a little graph for you guys just so you can visualize what this looks like. So as you can see in this graph here, we have our x and y axis, and our y-intercept occurs when x equals 0, and whatever y is at that value, that would be your y-intercept. Now that we've defined what y-intercept is, how would we go about solving for the y-intercept? I'm going to write out a few step-by-step processes for you guys. So it depends on what we're given. If we are given the slope, it's just 3 simple steps. If we're given the slope, we would also use a given point and the slope in the equation. Then we would go through and substitute the values into our slope-intercept form, which would be y equals mx plus b. So we would substitute in for the m, the x, and the y because of the coordinates. And when we do that, we have one variable. So then for our last step, for step 3, we could solve for b. So those are the steps if you are given a point and the slope. But what if you're not given the slope? If you are just given 2 points and not given the slope, you would do the same exact steps. However, your first step would be to find the slope. And we have gone over this in the last 2 videos. So again, if you guys haven't watched those, please pause this video here and watch those 2 videos just so the practice problems will make a little bit more sense for you guys. So now that we've gone through all of our lesson objectives, let's get into some practice problems where we will solve for the y-intercept. So for our first practice problem, the directions say to find the y-intercept of a line with slope equals 4, passing through the point 2, 10. So to start off, we're going to write out our formula, our slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, and then we're going to look at what we are given. So we are given the slope, and we were given a coordinate. So we're going to go through our step-by-step process. Here m equals 4 and we have our coordinates, so x will be 2 and y will be 10. So we'll go ahead and substitute in. We will have 10 equals 4 times 2 plus b. We'll go through here and do PEMDAS. We'll do parentheses first. We know that 4 times 2 is 8. And then we will do 10 minus 8 to get that b equals 2. So that is our y-intercept. And the final equation, substituting in our y-intercept, we would get y equals 4x plus 2. So in our final equations, we write in the slope and the y-intercept. So that wraps up our first practice question for today. Now we'll get into our second one. So in the first one, we were given our slope and a single point. For this one, the directions say to find the equation of the line that passes through the 2 points below. So here we're only given 2 points. So that means that we're going to have to solve for our slope first and then go through those same steps that we did for number 1. So the 2 points we are given are 5, 5 and 3, 2. What we will do here is we will just label them all. 5, 5 will be our x1, y1. 3, 2 will be our x2, y2. And we know that the equation for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we'll just go through here and plug everything in. Our y2 is 2. Minus our y1 is 5, so we'll have 2 minus 5 over our x2 is 3, and our x1 is 5, so we'll have 2 minus 5 over 3 minus 5. 2 minus 5 gives us negative 3, 3 minus 5 gives us negative 2. This one's not really going to simplify too much, but we do know a negative divided by a negative just gives us a positive. So our slope here would be 3/2. Then we'll go through and do the same steps as number 1. We have our slope, it is 3/2, and you can go through and choose whichever coordinate you want. I'm going to choose the 3, 2. So now I have my point and my slope. My x will be 3, my y will be 2, and we're going to go through here and substitute in. I will have 2 equals 3/2 times 3 plus b. And when I go through here, 3/2 times 3, we'll just multiply across like fractions. That would give us 9/2. So we'll have 2 equals 9/2 plus b. And then we'll go through here and subtract. We'll do 2 minus 9/2. And math is cumulative, you guys. Here we have to subtract a whole number from an improper fraction. So we're going to go through here and make our common denominator. When we do that, we will get 4/2 minus 9/2, and that gives us negative 5/2. So our y-intercept is negative 5/2. We have our slope. So for our final equation, we would have y equals 3/2 x minus 5/2, and our y-intercept is negative 5/2. That wraps up our practice section and our lesson for today. Great job, you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please feel free to like it if you did. Comment any questions or any other video topics you would like to see down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video with a friend, and I will see you guys next time.